Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but a Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. They got me by the Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I find no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a galoo. The hardest part on my tongue. Thinking is a raw glue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spot, then I bet you I'ma blow up. Just throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A versus thinking in his man, but you can't see me. You rather drink, they gon' pull up, but took a knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, come be brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the planks, you use Decepticons. Fake rappers to retreat like Cobra. 80s they get floated like up in the storage and I'm man. Up, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja Turtle rap, Turtle clans get defeated. High in the ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can't stop us. LL bad when I go and show up. You can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. To get that honey sauce on me, I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This your man, Drake Mack, coming to you again with another episode of the Drake Mack Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. You're from the West Coast right now. Go ahead and get up, because you already know that the early bird gets the worm. And on today, am I a YouTube grifter part 8, aka this time super woke, and they done grifted on Superman this time. So this is what we're going to do. This is a Birdman reaction, so we are going to get into it. Of course, if you've been following the channel, is this the first time you're watching, this is a series that I've been doing, reacted to videos exposing the grift. So this is a part of the exposing the grift portion. Even I have one on the Birdman too that he did. So that will probably come later this week. But hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gant over at the Heavy Gant's React channel. And I gotta just check his channel to see if he did a reaction video on the young brother that was attacked, because that's what his channel does. You know, he does the reaction to people getting arrested. So I want to know what his take is on the young brother that was in his car, calm, the cop came in, busted his window, punched him all in his face, put his foot all up his ass. I want to see what he has to say about that. And that's the kind of channel. So if you want to check that out, he has that video. Make sure that you check out my man Heavy Gan. But you already know what it is. The real question is,
Are you
Say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
all righty. Let me see who is all in the house today. Torian, my man, Rain Reloaded. Like when I told you I got requested about a lot of stuff, and this was one of them. Yours. Yeah, I mean, man, I'm trying to tell you now. I think people are starting to know that I'm doing the reaction to these grift videos, and people want to check them out. So they send me all kinds of information. So, but shout out to you, Torian, for being the first to put me on this path to the Am I a YouTube Grifter series. So I appreciate it. Miss Roberta, the church IT, good morning. Y'all better not act a fool, and you better get them likes up. I seen what she was gonna get at Molly Moore too, who's all in the house. What's up with it, big dog? What's good? Junior Network is up here. Good morning. My man King Mo, part of Popcorn in Your Beard. Make sure you guys are checking them out. Always doing breakdowns on movies and doing reviews. Terrible Movie Tuesdays, all of that. Been a friend for the channel for a good minute now. We talking about what, the last 3 years? You know what I'm saying? I think it's been the last 3 years. Friend, most definitely the homie, not just a friend, the homie of the channel. What's up with it, my guy? That's my guy. Him, Rashad, Mo, Rashad, Duke, Mika G. Who am I missing? Missing somebody. And I'm gonna feel ashamed that I missed this. I missed somebody, but Mo will put it down in there. But yeah, shout out to Popcorn to Your Beer. Anyway, Justice No, good morning. Amber, good morning. Audit the audit. Yo, boy. You said he fell out. You said you fell off the repetitive. It got going after Cinema Sins. It don't think it's much better with his new series. Well, let's check it out. Just hang out, check it out. You're getting my reaction and then my commentary. You know what I'm saying? You're also getting my commentary on that. You know what I mean? So not only are you getting his, I'm putting my own spin on this. And Amber, you're new to the channel. I was a former viewer source commentator for 2 years with TMZ. Last time I did TMZ was April of this year. So this is what I'm used to doing. And I got a video in mind that I'm going to do for all the new guys. There's going to be a video that's going to pop up just introducing myself so people know why I do these reaction videos, why Dre Mac reacts. Robin D, good morning. The other admin again, y'all see it, like, share, subscribe. Mike Bree TV, what's good? Good to see you up here this morning. Yes, Maverick 77, we talked about it yesterday, and plus I posted it on the community page. Malcolm-Jamal Warner passed away, unfortunately, of an accident. He drowned in Costa Rica, which is so sad. So my condolences to his family, his friends in Hollywood, everybody he's touched. You know what I'm saying? Not Diddy, but hey, touched in the spiritual realm, as far as like when I said this last night on the Blair AF. This dude was the epitome, literally, of black excellence. Never was in trouble, never made himself like he was bigger than anybody else. Always was vulnerable about the things that he's seen and he saw in Hollywood, man. RIP to a legend. You can't talk about the Cosby Show without talking about Theo. Let's just put it like that. So, so my condolences. This is like when with Shad from that was in wrestling, that was part of Crime Time, which I hated that name of that group for, but this was Vince McMahon and the trash era. But that's like when he had a high tide and they found him, they had to wash him ashore. So yeah, You know, so RIP. You know, let me get off of that because I'm gonna get him a feelings. Tyler J, good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see you up in here. Michael Johnson, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy birthday, my man. Happy birthday, my guy. Matter of fact, you want me to sing for you? Happy birthday, happy. Nah, just play. I'm going to go see Fantastic Four on Thursday at 2:00, and I will have a 60-second initial reaction out of the movie, and then I'm gonna have a non-spoiler review once I get to the house. So I got y'all. Yeah. So I was on the show. So, and then if you see some of my shorts, it has some of those appearances from TMZ on there, so people don't think I'm lying. D Stizzle, what's up? Grayfield, that is not a joke. That is not. I wish, but unfortunately it's not. Unfortunately, yeah, man. Good brother, man. Good brother, man. You know. So again, Michael Johnson, enjoy your birthday. Peace, love, blessings, shalom from me to you. I want you to be prosperous. I want you to be joyful. I want you to enjoy and experience everything that the Most High has given you. I want you to experience it on your day. From me to you, my brother, happy birthday and enjoy yourself. All right. Let's get into it today. Hold up, who just came in here? Oh, okay. Let's get into it, but before we get into it, let's shout out the magnificent crew that be holding the brother down, man. I love y'all, man. Let me shout y'all out real quick. Let's get to it. Hold up, wait a minute, whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching, and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you know you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mack and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. And again, shout out to all the magnificent crew members that are out there. I appreciate you guys. Again, you guys have held it down for me, you know, especially the ones who's been here since I first was able to get subscribers to help my little channel grow, man. I really am grateful to you guys, because I just remember when I literally quit podcasting for 6 months because I was trying to find myself. I wasn't about to grift. I'd be damn on that, but I wasn't about to grift. But I was just trying to find how to be able to do this YouTube thing and all of that, man. And I finally was like, let me be who I am. You know what I mean? Let me talk about the stuff I really love and then incorporate it with the stuff that I already was doing, man. And I am so blessed of you guys who've been following this journey, man. I really am extremely blessed, man. And I thank you guys for real, from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's go ahead and get to this. But before we get into that, we'll be right back with more of the Dre Mack Show.
Hey, y'all, I got a great new album in the mail today.
I don't like the way the honey sauce dripping on my chicken wings. My chicken wings. But I got the honey sauce. The honey honey sauce for your chicken wings, for your chicken wings, yeah.
This is a fantastic album, man. Let me borrow it.
No, my brother. You've got to buy your own.
We now return to the Transformers.
I'm sorry. I still think when Farrakhan Laircon comes out, I literally cry laughing. that is so funny. Cornelius, what's up? Yeah, it's the slow mo. It's the slow mo for me. Pam. I'm sorry. As fine as that woman is, she deserves it. She deserves to get joked about a little bit. You know what I mean? And yes, Six the truth. I hate crime. I hate it. I like the team, the tag team. I hated that name. It was so, oh God. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into what. No, what are we doing? Hold up. What are we doing? Hold up. Wait a minute here. Oh my goodness. Hold up, y'all. Hold up, because this thing is tripping. This thing is straight tripping right now. There we go. Why is it? Hold on. Just make sure. Yeah, it was tripping. It got thrown off. Okay. All right. That Malika Andrews is fine. She is gorgeous. Very beautiful woman. She tripping. She, good God almighty, boy. She is wild for this. But anyway, yeah, somebody bumped the DJ booth on that. They jacked it up. But that's, you know how if you've been working with StreamYard for a long time, this is, you know. Yo, Michael Knight, that takes me back. Oh man. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. This is the Birdman exposed to the grift Superman, aka Super Woke. How woke did the grifter say it is? Let's find out. Let's go. Amber, buckle your seatbelt. This is gonna be a long ride, baby.
Superman released last week, and the grifters just don't know how to respond to it.
What's up,
half
Rating?
of them are calling it woke, and the other half are saying it's not woke. And this is probably because none of them know what the word woke even means, which is why the easiest dunk for people arguing against anti-woke losers on the internet is to ask them to define that word.
Haven't we talked about this? Now, we know because Marvel has exposed itself for woke to mean black. That's what we have deduced it to. Let's see what the Birdman, you know, what conclusions on or what these grifters call woke. But we have deduced it, you know, to mean black. When they say this is woke, or why you have all this woke stuff, it towards to mean us. All right, let's go.
Which is usually met with a swift retreat. Which is why it's curious that the cynical grifter has decided to call Superman not woke, likely due to him sensing the film would be well received and make a lot of money. You know, something that goes against his mantra of woke thing bad and will fail. In other words, go woke, go broke. But if it didn't go broke, then it wasn't woke. I've noticed this myself. That
hold on, wait a minute. I want to go back and I want to look at that.
Films that were woke but didn't go broke, the cope has been to suggest that those films were not woke. I still receive comments on my short from people claiming movies like Zootopia weren't actually woke. You know, the movie that's a thin allegory for films that were.
Hold on, sorry.
Go woke, go broke.
Okay.
If it,
what does this says? This says exposing the grift. It's not woke because it didn't go broke. It's amazing we even got a game like Baldur's Gate 3, given the current state of the Western gaming industry. So, let me just, what's up, Tina? Let me just get this right. And you guys in the comment section can tell me if I'm tripping or not, because y'all will anyway. So, black people women that look a little masculine, woke. Women in bikinis, no matter if they're demon looking or not, that looks sexy to them, not woke. So if you can go punch wrap your burrito, if the character on a video game looks sexy enough to wrap your burrito, you know what I'm saying, and put some meat in your taco, you cool. But if it's not, and it's like the young lady who was just in The Last of Us, she was in the video game where they cut her hair, and she did it for the video game. Now she's Jade in Mortal Kombat 2. That's woke. Make this make sense for me. I'm confused. Make this make sense, grifters.
It didn't go broke, then it wasn't woke. I've noticed this myself, that when I gave examples of films that were woke but didn't go broke, the cope has been to suggest that those films were not woke. I still receive comments on my short
What's up,
from
Andre?
people
Where?
claiming movies like Zootopia weren't actually woke. You know, the movie that's a thin allegory for race relations and how we should accept each other despite our various differences, a film that features a villain who is explicitly a prey supremacist. Yeah, very not woke. Sashomaru one, you fucking idiot. I swear, you people have an incredibly difficult time understanding political themes in art. It's almost like you have zero media literacy or something.
Wait, is this fucking play about us?
And this is all because if these morons don't have an overarching narrative to follow, they don't know what to do. And that's because these people aren't film critics or reviewers. They are con artists that have found a lick, and their audiences are literally too stupid to realize they're being played.
I do have to agree with that. Just because we did with CHD's video last week, where the guy was going into a tirade, and he's not even American, but he was going into a tirade about how Superman was getting beat up, and he was this and he was that, and yada yada yada. That the young lady who played excuse me, the young lady who played the engineer, she was a girl boss and all of this stuff, and just going on a tirade of how this was gay, and you got the black in there talking about Mr. Terrific, and you sit there like, yo, what the hell am I watching? It's not a critique. It's rage baiting. It's unique rage baiting. And it's so easy to rage bait now online because literally these rage bait videos go under the guise of YouTube because rage bait is what got YouTube popular. Go back. If you remember early YouTube, you ought to say, if you remember early YouTube, rage bait content, and I talked about this, has always been around. It's just radically changed. Let me give you an example. The Nostalgia Critic got on there ranting, raving, cussing, fussing about how dumb movies are or how dumb a movie is. Through his critique, you know what I'm saying? But poking fun, laughing, joking, it's been like that. Angry Video Game Nerd, did the same thing in the video game space. When YouTube was primarily kind of like that place to go for video game reviews, movie reviews, and not really what we see today. Then we get into the podcasting, where we start talking about rage baiting against, women are not this and women are not that. And you got the men are not this and the men are not that. This has always been a format to make YouTube what it is. Besides being a learning tool, that YouTube is always been about reactions, rage bait, no matter what side or what you're doing. So this is nothing different. The difference is now the grift is just to rage bait on something, and now it's exploited so much that people are just falling into their feelings and not really necessarily hearing what has been said. Let's keep going.
This is exactly why when The Critical Drinker tried to make a movie, it was hilariously bad, and now he needs a YouTuber to help him with his writing. And I commend him for knowing his limitations, but how has this experience not humbled him? He's still shitting on movies that were made by people who have been proven to be more competent than him in this very space. If he had any shame, he'd have shut his critic reviews down, enrolled in a screenwriting course, and we wouldn't hear from him for the next few years. But no, he has a grift to maintain, as they all do. And that's why we are here today, to take a look at a bit of what a couple of film's biggest grifters have to say about Superman.
Honestly, I go away on holiday for a few days and what feels like the biggest controversy in pop culture blows up across the internet. Out of all the movies I expected to be a lightning rod for conspiracy theories, political tug-of-wars, and the kind of explosive fan warfare that makes the Snyderverse look like a polite disagreement over afternoon tea, the last one I predicted was James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn.
Well, that's because you spend the majority of your time worrying about the black to white person ratio in films and whether that makes a film woke or not. Imagine being a film YouTuber and not knowing Snyder cultists are some of the biggest crybabies on the internet, rivaled only by you bitches when black people are on your movie screen.
Exactly. Now, again, like I said before, this is exactly, to me, what woke is. When they say woke, for one, you can't take our word, for one, our word, black people's word, where we're talking about enlightening, open up your mind, being woke to things that you have been asleep to, waking up out of the matrix. You taking the blue pill or the red pill, and you're starting to see things for what it really is. You know what I mean? And not this, you know, this imaginary version of what we think it is. No, the reality. You know, and then understanding our history and how we can use that history to be able to improve ourselves and be better and to teach others. That's what really woke really was for me, per se. When I started learning about history, I wasn't bashing anybody. I wanted to teach people. I wanted to get people to understand that these things have happened to us. Now, since we know that, how can we be better? How, as a society, can I, myself, be better knowing the circumstances? So that means I can't rely on the government. I can't rely on this, that, and the other. We got to be a community of people, and we have to build and rise together. Because the biggest enemy is our government. It's always been, especially if you're black, government. If you're if you're middle class poor, it's most definitely the government putting their foot all in between your crack and your cheeks. And it's always been like that. You know what I mean? Back when I was growing up listening to George Carlin, as a kid, I didn't understand the jokes. As an adult, fully blew my mind how much he was on point, and it's effective to this day. Same thing with Dave Chappelle, all of that. These are the things that we were awake to and we wanted to teach. You know what I'm saying? Because oppression is in so many different ways. When people say, "Oh, you're just complaining because you're oppressed," then understand that oppression can be in a multiple ways. It even just grifting and talking so much crap on us. Look at this image. Tell me, look at this image and tell me, does that have anything positive about it? Just, I'll give you 15 seconds. Take a look at that. Does that have anything positive about black people? Now, remind you, these are the same people who said Wesley Snipes needs to get reparations. You know what I mean? Even though he got caught not paying his taxes for God knows how long. You see what I mean? You see how easy that they can, for to masquerade their point. They use a black example that they like. But the rest of us, this is what it is. Let's keep going.
They've only been complaining about this film since Gunn was announced as the head of DC 3 years ago. But I guess when you're complaining about Brie Larson and Daisy Ridley every other day, you tend to develop tunnel vision.
But not to worry, dear viewer, because the drinker is back to bring order out of chaos, restore balance to a world gone mad, and pronounce the final verdict on James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn. And damn, man, what a delightfully optimistic, frustratingly flawed, and thoroughly weird movie this turned out to be. On the plus side, the casting is excellent. David Corenswet turned out to be a perfect choice for the Man of Steel. The script doesn't try to diminish or deconstruct him just to massage some smug filmmaker's nihilistic ego, but instead presents him as a flawed but good-hearted man doing his best to navigate a complex world. There's a strong theme of heroism and positivity running through the movie, a refreshing lack of political agenda, and some genuinely great dramatic moments that made me think, yup, James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn actually understands what people want from a Superman movie.
So this reminds me of a hilarious tweet you made the other day, Drinker, where you claimed that people are trying to make Superman political and that they should just judge a film as a film without politics.
That's hilarious, because who else giggles and can't wait to watch some Critical Drinker? Our good friend Tyrone Magnus. Now, remember how he was saying that Superman was going to be woke and it was too comic booky? I'm just saying. But with Critical, see, this is why I tell you that these people are puppets. These people are puppets because, for the simple fact, you know, before the movie came out, Critical Drinker, Tyrone Magnus, and these other lackeys out here could not wait to talk crazy on James Gunn and how this is going to be woke, and, you know, the conflict in the Middle East, you know, this is political because look what's going on, you know, in Palestine and Israel, and they're going to make this wokety woke, you know, neurotic. Oh, you see what I mean? Now, just judge a movie just as such. I wonder if they're going to do Fantastic Four on that with Shia LaBeouf as the Silver Surfer in that universe. Interesting.
Naturally, this was my reaction to this message coming from you.
Really, motherfucker?
You see, this is what you do. You and your ilk are the ones that can't judge a film on its own merit and have to stupidly seek out things to be mad about because of your primitive and backwards politics. If you aren't whining about Peter Parker being the only white guy in Across the Spider-Verse, you're calling Alden Ehrenreich the only white guy in Ironheart.
Oh my goodness, what are the chances that the one and only white guy in this show would turn out to be a completely submissive pussy?
Funnily enough, your Nazi audience members don't seem to realize that.
Look, this is what I'm talking about. This is what that I have a problem with YouTube with this, because there are certain things that people post, and I see it in my analytics when I'm looking at comments that people post that are nowhere close to this that I can't see initially. So I have to go to the comments that's been held because I don't know, but they can say I'm past black fatigue. I am past black aspiration. And then people, you're a racist. Yes, mainstream fatigue. Calling someone racist doesn't work anymore. You see what I mean? Like, but YouTube, somebody can say that I don't like eggs and it will get blocked legitimately. You know, it would get blocked on my channel, like as a comment, because they don't like eggs. But people can say whatever they want in these comments, and not a problem. No shutdown, no nothing. I don't get it. I really don't get. But again, this is the reason why I said when it comes to us, when it comes to black, this is exhausting for black people, because you can talk crazy about black people all day long. And we get called whiny and all of this and all of that. When we complain or we make a fuss about it, we get told to get over it, all of that, so on and so forth. But nobody does anything about it until somebody does something about it that could be very detrimental. Just saying.
Alden is Jewish, and that this is further evidence that you consider Jewish people to be white. But I digress. Because of your stupid, simplistic worldview that the heroes and good guys should nearly always be white men, you fail to recognize that this movie, like most art, is political. You somehow miss the fact that Superman sparks an international conflict by stopping an obvious pastiche of Israel from invading an obvious pastiche of Palestine. It doesn't get more political than geopolitics.
I literally
but
just
because
said
you're
that.
a 17
What's up,
IQ
Gayface
culture
Willis?
warrior, you think politics is when a woman is in a leadership role or a drag queen is cast in a show that stars a black superhero. This film is also about an immigrant, something Gunn states explicitly. Given Trump almost assuredly became president due to the desire of his followers to kick immigrants out of my country, you can also argue that this film is pro-immigrant. Another political stance.
Very
but
much.
like most of you racists.
But let's just be honest. The reason why there is America because of immigration. Let me of course we Cornelius, that's where we had we didn't have that conversation, but I digress, Cornelius. Trust me. We know who the original Jews are. Those are converts. But and let me not get into that because that'll spark a whole another debate, you know. But America wouldn't be America without immigration. But it's who do you want to be immigrant here? You know what I mean? White Irish, cool. White Scottish, cool. Belgium, cool. You know what I mean? Norwegian, cool. Greenland, cool. Iceland, cool. Anything that's whitey white, come on down to Showcase Showdown. Start getting a little brown. We don't want you in our town. It's always this, literally the history of America. It's literally the history of America. Yet, these are the same people that will literally come up and say, I'm Native American. Get the... I'm trying not to cuss because Birdman go do enough cussing for me.
Including the president
What's up,
himself. When an immigrant looks like a white person, all of a sudden immigration is okay.
Exactly.
That's why
Excuse my
you
weed
didn't notice
rudeness.
it, Drinker, because Kal-El, a literal alien, looks like a white guy. Hence, your stupid ass thinking there are no politics in this film.
But Birdman, Drinker does talk about the immigrant thing in this video. See, watch.
There was also a pretty huge fucking debate raging around whether this film had some political axe to grind, mostly due to a misquoted Variety interview with James Gunn that was then amplified by absolute retards like Mark Melkin. You can almost feel how desperate he is to lead the cast into saying something, anything controversial for clicks and retweets.
Superman is an immigrant story.
Good Lord,
that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction. Your brother talked about Superman being an immigrant, and now MAGA is already upset that he's called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Oh no, you know what's so funny? Think about this. The fan base, the Make America Great Again fan base, got so pissed off about James Gunn saying that Superman's an immigrant, right? Just listen to this and think about it real hard. It asks, are they stupid? So they got mad and Fox News came out and said, oh, this is woke, wokey, woke. Fox News is woke. MAGA people, oh my God, immigrants, this is so woke. And the same person they kept for is the greatest president of all time, and all it is, puts his face on Superman's head and says he is the Superman. He is the savior of America. You can't make this shit up. Sorry, Miss Roberta. You can't make this up. You cannot.
Said it's an immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
This is the irony note. I'm going to play it every time the drinker says something bitingly unaware.
Seriously, guys, in case you haven't figured it out by now, entertainment journalists are not your friends and never have been.
Thanks, pillar of garbage. As you can see, neckbeard critical drinker fans will conveniently cut off Sean Gunn's response to that question while simultaneously claiming it's entertainment media. that are the dishonest ones. Well, I just so happen to have the full interview, and this is what Drinker doesn't want you to see.
Your boss, your brother, talked about Superman being an immigrant.
Stupid, Wavy.
And now MAGA is already upset that he's called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
You know, my reaction to that is that it is exactly what the movie is about. I think that, like, we support our people, you know, we love our immigrants. We love, yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. They're against what the American dream is all about.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Absolutely.
As for James,
and that's why Deontay, good morning. That's why I said you don't have America without immigration, because that's what. Now there's two sides of this. You have the immigrants that came over and took somebody's land. The indigenous people that was here, they took those lands. The settlers. Then the settlers was like, we can get slaves here in North America too? Wait a minute. So you're telling me that if I go holler at the Portuguese, I know they just sent 1 million of these slaves on ships down to South America to the islands, but I could get some too? I ain't got that much money. Can I get about, I would say about 365,000 of them? Just give or take? Cool. So that's what you got. And then once America was built by the slave that they didn't want to even free in the South, immigration was one of the biggest things to continue the American dream. Think I'm lying? Know your history. Everybody who that's not indigenous was either a foundational Black America that came from slavery, or a colonizer, or an immigrant. Point blank, that's what it is. You can argue with your mama. So when you're talking about this is woke, because it's an immigrant story, your goddamn grandparents were immigrants. Your great-grandparents were immigrants. They were colonizers. They were slavers, slave masters, crackers.
James Gunn himself, he was a bit shy about answering the question, but this was not a misquote. He actually said Superman was an immigrant. The quote itself came from an interview with the Times London, not Variety. Here's the exact quote in its full context, and this is, without a doubt, James Gunn calling Superman an immigrant. Coupled with what his brother Sean said, how on earth are you trying to frame this as the wokies misquoting him and trying to make it political? You are yet again demonstrating that you don't know what you're talking about. I should make a video on how you get your information from other anti-woke losers on YouTube, like Midnight's Edge.
So, now I got called out for doing reaction videos to on Tyrone Magna. I'm still getting heat on my little short with Tyrone Magna. Shout out to y'all. They keep giving me heat. But yet the grifters find other grifters and just take what they do and just regurgitate it also. So how am I wrong? I'm just saying.
Which is why your footage has his watermark on it, hence you repeating his same wrong talking points.
I said
but
it.
Your audience doesn't really care, and my audience already knows you're a dishonest piece of shit, so what would even be the point? Anyway, I don't much care for the rest of this man's review as its standard critical drinker fare, like taking random shots at modern Hollywood, where he praises Rachel's Lois Lane for not being a girl boss, when we all know if Rachel Zegler or Brie Larson were in this role and literally nothing else changed, he'd be singing an entirely different tune, like the hypocrite that he is.
Exactly.
Let's move on to Drinker's pet dog.
Oh,
as you
God,
can see from Nerdrotic's title, he has once again gotten his marching orders from Master Will and is unsurprisingly parroting the same sentiment that his own.
Look how many. Just think about this. Okay, let me tell you guys something. In college, I did a leadership development class. My freshman year in college. It was part of my. I was a English major, and it was part of my curriculum, right? So it was leadership development. So I had to do a report on a leader. Just had to be a leader who led the masses. And I did mine on Hitler. That's who I did it on. Because I was wondering how a dude that was 5'0" with a tiny mustache, dark eyes and dark hair, got everyone to believe that, from what I was taught then, that you had to be blonde-haired and blue-eyed. How, Sway? How? The way that he did it was ideology. You say your ideology over and over and over and over again. Right? To the point where the people that's listening to you are now programmed. Listen to what I'm saying real quick. So if I tell you over and over and over again, and you listen to me, you absorb it, you are going to start repeating it. Hence, taste the biscuits. The reason why you guys will hear something or you see biscuits and you will laugh about it, because I've literally played it, on this channel every time that you watch my show, right? To the point where you're sitting at home and you like, taste the biscuits, taste the goodness of the biscuit. Or you'll go somewhere and you will see something, you will see a biscuit and be like, man, Dre, damn, man. Now Dre done talked about biscuits so much. Now I want a biscuit. And now that is playing in your head. Programming is literally programming. So this is literally what these guys are doing. But look at the views. Look at the amount of people that the views, 997,818 from when he took this screenshot. So damn near 1 million people are being programmed that watched it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It is so. This is the reason why that you listen to a song, and one reason why I don't listen to the radio, because the radio will play the same. It's like every hour and a half they'll repeat that song, and then that song will play all day long about 30 times. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you know the song by heart. And you're like, how do I know this song? You'll know songs from years ago just by listening to a tune. I did that with Tom's Diner. Reason why is because they played it so much. You listen to it and all you do is start repeat because you hear it programs in your head. You ain't got it. Next thing you know, you're humming it. Next thing you know, you're singing along with the lyrics. You don't know all the songs just yet, but trust me, after the 30th time you done heard it, and that one day you're gonna start singing it. Now you know the whole damn song. You're like, how the hell I know that song? The same thing with this mess. That's why I said the grifting thing. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. This is just ideology 101, and this is the way that they can push their ideology. Let's keep going.
Taught him too that Superman is not political and is a disappointment. Apparently, it doesn't matter what the consensus on this film is. If Daddy Drinker says it's not woke and a disappointment, Gary's gonna follow in his father's footsteps. Let's see what the critical drink. I mean, Nerdrotic has to say.
So despite what James Gunn says about James Gunn's DCU, Superman needs to not only be a hit, it needs to be a walk-off home run. And as far as the marketing for this film is concerned, which is really important on a scale from Rachel Zegler to 10, I'd give it a 6. If you take James Gunn out of the equation, I'd give it an 8. But at least as far as insufferable political Hollywood was concerned, they pretty much stayed out of it.
What's up, Rico?
Until now. Thanks to Variety's Mark Milken, the bane of the adult pretender and friend of YouTubers everywhere.
James has said that Superman is an immigrant story, that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
It's almost like we all have collective deja vu, isn't it? You see how these low-effort videos are made now.
So
these two just wait for the other to make a video, and whoever does it second essentially copies the first. I mean, what are the chances that these fools just so happen to talk about the same Variety interview when these videos are supposed to be reviews of the Superman film itself?
Exactly.
I mean, it says so in Gary's own description. What do these interviews have to do with a review of Superman?
Exactly, and that's why I said that this is ideology push. That's all this is. You're pushing an ideology to make you believe that anything with a woman in it that is not damn near half naked or any of that is woke. If a black man is in it, you know what I mean, and you see he so happens to be a leader or a young black woman, it's woke. You know what I'm saying? And then they take pot shots instead of reviewing the art of what it is, because at the end of the day, this is art. Art, like anything within the art realm, is subjective, right? So it's the way that you see it, right? But no, they can't see the art because they're too busy, you know what I'm saying, programming these dum-dums out here to hate you. It's to hate themselves. Because clearly, if you sit up there, you're hating somebody because they're not scantily, you know what I'm saying, or scantily clothed, you know what I'm saying, and finding over, you know, the white male lead, you know what I'm saying. If they so happen to have a mind of their own that they're a woman, then somehow this is woke. Or a black man is in it and he ain't taking no ish from nobody. Somehow that's woke. This is sad. This is sad.
What did you just say?
Nothing, just had a little deja vu.
And I'm not kidding. These two just copy whatever the other is doing. It's uncanny. Will makes a video specifically talking about girl boss fatigue. 2 fucking days later, here comes Gary with a girl boss video. Drinker thinks Mission Impossible sucked? Well, so does Gary. Will thinks Superman is a beautiful mess and just okay. Well, Gary has that exact sentiment in his video, only he forgot he titled his video Total Disappointment. That's not what just okay means, Gary. Seriously, I challenge any of you to find anything these two dorks disagree on. Just like the buses they rode to school, that list is going to be short.
That was certainly the last thing James Gunn and the Warner Brothers executives needed, but not to worry. The Warner Brothers handpicked social media influencers who were offered a free screening and free drinks are here to the rescue with a diverse set of unique and authentic reactions.
Hashtag Superman is a triumph for the new DC universe. It's a comic book movie brought to beautiful live action life.
Yeah, let's get into that. First of all, these channels are not going to pay you. These studios are not going to pay YouTubers to make their movie any better, to say their movie is any better. Now, I will say that some people are homers to this stuff. They would just like it because, I mean, hell, they're in the they could get in the inner circle, and they just like it just because they like it. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than people just hating it just to be hating it. You got people that just like stuff. We talked about Rob from Comics Explained. Rob likes a lot of stuff that's not the Inhumans because he hates them. But you know what I mean? So when he talks about stuff, he gets excited. You know, people can say that I'm a homer. I like art. This is my lane. Acting, stage play, writing. This is my lane. So I'm always going to be more optimistic when I go watch something because this is my art form that I grew up with. This is my love, my passion. So, of course, I'm going to go into it with an actor's point of view and look and say, damn, is this really hitting the way it should? You know what I'm saying? Is the actors giving the best performance that they can, or they're laying down? And Madam Web most definitely laid down through the whole movie. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you know, this is something that I go in always optimistic about. Fantastic Four, I'm going in optimistic. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do, but damn it, am I optimistic about it? Right? You know, so yes, it's going to come out a little homerish. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's just something that, like, one of the Fantastic Beasts movies, I think it was the last one, where I just did not like it. I just didn't like it, but there's nothing wrong with that. But then I'm telling you why I didn't like it, and a critical, concise point based on the movie, not based on the actors or what the actors look like or what people have said on the internet. I don't give a crap. I want to know, is the movie good based on everything a movie is supposed to be? That is a review. All the rest of this crap, don't fall for this mess. This is trash.
With hope and fulfillment. It actually elicited tears of joy from me. Hashtag Superman is a triumph for the new DC universe. It's a comic book movie brought to beautiful live-action life.
These people will sell you a quarter and tell you it's a dime.
Comic shop reading a Superman book as the characters leapt off the pages.
The irony of this pet dog who is doing the same thing his owner is doing, trying to call out people for dishonest reviews. You can't make this stuff up. I wonder if Gary will bring up the copy pasta Ironheart reviews that were made before the show even released.
Exactly.
I won't hold my breath on that one, though.
But that's not the only problem, and you're going to hear this from a lot of people, including the ones who like it. Tonally, it's an absolute mess. Superman's James Gunn is a direct response and a polar opposite of the Snyderverse. The problem is, it's a complete overcorrection, and it doesn't really know what it wants to be. But the good news is, it's not the worst superhero film this year, and it might end up being the best, which admittedly isn't saying very much. The better news is, it isn't woke. Unfortunately, that isn't enough.
We are brought back to the opening of this video, where anti-woke dipshits demonstrate they don't know what the word woke means, and that they use it to mean almost anything. Before the umpteenth time, woke means to be societally conscious, especially with regard to social and racial injustices. Superman embodies justice as...
Let's get into that real quick. So we know what
better news is, it isn't woke. Unfortunately, that isn't enough.
We are brought back to the opening of this video, where anti-woke dipshits demonstrate they don't know what the word woke means, and that they use it to mean almost anything. Before the umpteenth time, woke means to...
Let's just stop right here just for a second. Woke is an adjective derived from African-American English. African-American English, you dicks. Y'all stole our word, and I'm taking it back. Used since the 1930s and earlier to refer to the awareness of racial prejudice and discrimination, often in the construction stay woke. The term acquired political connotation by the 1970s and gained further popularity in the 2010s with the hashtag stay woke. So something that derived in the 1930s, 80 years later, 90 years later, we're still saying. Over the time, woke has been used to refer to a broader awareness of social inequalities, such as sexism and denial of LGBTQ rights. Woke has also been used as a shorthand for some ideas of the American left involving identity politics and social justice, such as white privilege and reparation for slavery in the United States. During the 2014 Ferguson protests, the phrase stay woke was popularized by Black Lives Matter activists seeking to raise awareness about the police shootings of African Americans. After being used on Black Twitter, the term woke was increasingly adopted by white people to signal their support of progressive causes. Now, when you hear some of these grifters talk about the SJWs, that's who they're talking about. Social justice warriors. Even Black people was using that same language that wanted to be on the far right so bad, they were attacking SJWs. These were just white people that was like, you know what? I think we need to go past all this bull crap, you know, going against Black people with prejudice and all of that and stuff like that. Maybe, you know, these people do need their reparations. Let's just get past this so we can get to a better country. But no, our own people and white folks were calling these people SJWs. Then they took the word woke to go be like, this is woke, that is woke. Anytime white people support anything that's go back up to the top, that's woke from African Americans. Just trying to tell y'all, is blatant in your face. The root of it is us, and it comes back to them hating us. But I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Mack Show.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Now you can own one of the greatest gospel albums ever on the rough side. With only giant hits and legendary stars.
Biscuit. I know the truth about it. I love. Oh, how I love this biscuit. Oh, how I love this biscuit. It is the best biscuit. I know.
This treasury is not sold in stores, and when you call the toll-free number now, you also get another entire album of all-time gospel favorites. We now return to the Transformers.
Miss Rock Kitty, what's up? What's up? Good morning. This is the reason why I call these people the Butter Biscuit Crew, because they eat their biscuits. Boy, they can't wait. These people that look like me and grift like them can't wait to get their butter biscuits. They can't wait to down black people, you know what I'm saying, and make themselves feel like they're better. You know what I mean? Because, hey, I see all this woke stuff that's going on. So I'm going to take the word that was made for us, and I'm going to use it in the kind of nation that they use it, because I want inclusivity with the right. Man, damn that. I'll be damned. Nah, I'm good. I say my independent ass over here. I'm straight.
Be societally conscious, especially with regard to social and racial injustices. Superman embodies justice as a core aspect of his character and actions. He is literally associated with truth, justice, and the American way, and is a founding member and leader of the Justice League.
Exactly.
By definition, Superman is a woke character, and he's been depicted that way since before all of you watching this video were born. Gary here is using the word the way other low IQ bigots use the term, as a dog whistle for bigotry against marginalized groups and those that advocate for marginalized groups. And sorry to burst your bubble, racists and sexists, bigotry is consistently shown in scientific studies to be correlated with lower IQ. So for all you racists trying to use IQ scores to justify your bigotry, all you're doing is telling on yourselves.
Myron, for Fresh and Fit, there you go, big dog.
Yes, science.
Another butter biscuit.
Bitches.
What's up, Professor Good Fam?
But the criticisms or praise of this film will be based solely on the work, which was a lot like what we did when we argued in the comic shop, and I appreciate that. I've heard everybody's pal Tyrone Magnus compare it to Thor: Love and Thunder, which I don't think is an inaccurate description, but I think a better one would be tonally. It's a lot closer to Black Adam than all the previous DCEU films.
This is what happens when you go off script, Gary.
What the hell? Dude, anybody who watched Superman, anybody who's watched Superman, can you compare Superman to Black Adam right now? No, you cannot. You cannot compare Superman, this version of Superman, even though the tone does go in and out. I'm not saying it's perfect, because the tone does go in and out, and there's certain moments that need to be sat on. You know what I'm saying? In this. But it damn sure ain't Thor: Love and Thunder. It's nowhere close to that. Nowhere close. That is probably the worst movie. No, this is good. One of the worst MCU movies I've ever saw. That is a not a good movie. Not a good movie. Now, I love Chris Hemsworth. I love Taika Waititi. But what he did with that movie is an abomination. It is trash. And here's somebody who's supposed to be a shield, or what is it calling me, and all of this stuff in my comments. Now, I'm telling you, when a movie's bad, that movie is bad. A movie is really bad. They took one of the great Thor comic book stories, and made a massive piece of crap out of it. Superman is nowhere close to that. Nope.
Obviously dumb shit. I'm sure most of the people watching this video have already seen Superman, and if you haven't, you probably weren't going to anyway. But my point is that we all know that Superman does not have a similar tone to Black Adam or the other DCEU films. That's the whole point of the reboot, to not do what the DCEU did. But I'm sure Gary will have a great explanation for this take, right? Right?
But you still have to tell a good story, something those Bronze and Silver Age comics, which get a bad rap, did better than most of modern Hollywood. And it's something we really didn't get with Superman's James Gunn. It was more like a series of things that happened. And this makes me think of a great video out there from Trey Parker and Matt Stone explaining the basics of storytelling.
We can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you're what should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word therefore
you see he put his foot in his own mouth,
right? And then this happens. No, it should be this happens and therefore this happens, but this happens therefore this happens.
No, I don't know what any of it means. Like, I have no clue what it means. I have no clue what any of that stuff ever meant.
That's right. James Gunn has decided to take that advice and do the opposite. As a matter of fact, I'll just break down the plot as it goes in the movie. After an event that happens off screen where Superman stops an invasion from totally not Russia into totally not brown Ukraine or totally not Israel into totally not Palestine. I didn't see it that way. But if some people see Israel portrayed this way, well, maybe some people working on this film are forgetting who signs their checks and who their agents are.
This is a textbook example of an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, the idea that Jews control Hollywood. In this case, Gary isn't being subtle. He implies that James Gunn should be careful about portraying a fictional stand-in for Israel negatively because of who signs his checks. That's not a dog whistle, it's practically a foghorn. And given Gary's well-documented disdain for Hollywood, the implication is clear. If Jews run Hollywood and Gary constantly attacks Hollywood as corrupt or evil, then he's targeting Jews by proxy. It's the transitive property of math.
And then Crypto saves Superman so the Superman robots can save Superman.
It's amazing how you played the earlier clip about how storytelling should work, and you somehow still don't understand it. Just saying, and then here is you attempting to be dishonest and disingenuously frame these events as if they aren't interrelated.
How does mindless people literally watch this guy and be like, that guy makes sense? How? I don't get it.
Superman loses a fight and has multiple broken bones. Therefore, Crypto rescues Superman because he can't reach the Fortress of Solitude in his current state.
And then Superman goes back to Metropolis to get his ass beat by the Hammer of Baravia.
No. Superman is healed after being taken to the fortress. Therefore, he is able to return to the fight that he just got thrown from.
So,
and then Lex Luthor, who
so what a lot of people forget is the Hammer of Baravia. So when we pick up with Superman, literally the Hammer of Baravia just got into Metropolis, challenged Superman to a fight. Superman gets his ass whooped. This is where we start the movie at, and it was literally the first fight he ever lost. He said in just what did he say? 3 minutes ago, he just lost his first fight. It's literally in the opening crawl. So after he gets healed, he goes right back to the fight. So we didn't need to see what happened beforehand because we're picking right up right after that because that is the conflict. What it is it's a pretext of storytelling. Let me pick you up right where the action is coming at, and now let me get you back into what we just seen. What you didn't have to see him get beat up because he'd be like, damn, we picking up right as Superman getting battled, or would it be more better to pick it up after Superman loses for the first time? We see him get healed. We see him, the Superman robots have concern about him. Now he goes right back to that fight. You know what I'm saying? And now we can understand the context of it. You know what I mean? That's good storytelling, whether you like it or not. Oh, good God.
Despises Superman for making humans like...
I'm sorry, as a person who loves this art form, I can't stand when somebody cannot explain the simplicity of a plot.
Him feel insignificant invades the Fortress of Solitude and steals a message from Jor-El, Lara, and Crypto.
Wrong again. The engineer followed Superman to locate the fortress for Lex, as the fight with the hammer was a distraction. Once the hammer beats Superman again, the hammer flies off, regroups with Lex through the usage of a portal, and the trio uses the information gained from the engineer to enter the fortress. Therefore, they were able to use the message from Superman's parents against him, setting the events of the plot into motion.
And then Superman and the Justice Gang, featuring Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl, fight a kaiju.
Another blatant manipulation of the events of the film. They don't just fight a kaiju. Once Lex enters the Fortress of Solitude, the engineer states aloud that it's going to take some time to break into the computer, as she worries Superman might return while she's working. Lex tells
they set a trap for Superman. It was a distraction, so they could be able to get the information from the Fortress of Solitude in the message that was broken up in the. And this is literally so easy, but yet now you understand why we go at these grifts so hard, right? The reason why we can go at these grifts is instead of explaining the actual story the way it should be, you can just take notes in the movie theater, right? This happens because of this. This happens because of this. This happens because of this. This. It's so simple. You don't have to go. You don't even have to go scene by scene. Just go ahead and use the timeline that's available for you in the movie and explain it. No, I don't want to explain it because I'd rather leave stuff out to make myself seem like I'm a genius because I'm the one with the platform. I'm the one who spent a lot of money on a camera, in a computer, and all of that, and sit up here and tell you all this crap so you can listen, agree with me, and I can get paid, big dog. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I missed Miss Roberta's $5 super chat a long time ago. I am so sorry because these be pissing me off. They really piss me off. But I'm sorry. Ms. Roberta said England deported their criminals to North America, as well as folks who came here for religious freedoms and other reasons. Absolutely. And she just gifted 10 more memberships. Miss Roberta, y'all better go get a membership right now. Miss Roberta is gifting memberships. Go and pick yours up right now. And because of that, because she is showing the channel so much love, let me make sure that I hook her up right now.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
You wanna be my enemy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I got permission from the owner of that song to play. I wish I could play all of it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So shout out to Miss Roberta for the $10 super for the $5 super chat and gifted 10 memberships. Shout out. Let's keep going because again, these people are pissing me off with this grifting mess.
He's thought of that and therefore releases the monster to keep Superman occupied.
It's gonna take a while. What if the Kryptonian shows up?
Don't worry. I'm creating a distraction.
A few moments later.
Exactly, Gary.
It's an awfully small distraction.
It'll grow.
It'll get bigger.
And then, after Superman saves a bunch of people from being crushed by the kaiju Mr. Terrific killed, they all turn on him instantly when they find out he was actually sent there to conquer and get himself a harem.
You're saying that backwards. The footage the engineer collects proves the Kryptonians sent Kal-El to Earth to dominate them.
Yes.
Therefore, the people turn on him.
And then Lex convinces the government and General Flag to arrest Superman, who turns himself in.
At this point, you're just saying "and then" for your agenda.
And
this is too easy. Lex proves the footage is genuine.
I wish I could find it. And then from Dude's Word My Car. And then. There's therefore should be and then.
Therefore, Superman turns himself in. You keep saying this shit as if these events aren't directly connected. You literally showed people giving a lecture on this. Just saying and then is not enough. You have to prove these events do not connect to the previous ones for there to be an and then. That was Trey Parker's point, you goddamn moron. Listen to it again.
Right? So what I'm saying is that you come up with an idea and it's like, okay, this happens, right? And then this happens. No. It should be this happens, and therefore this happens. but this happens, therefore this happens. And that, as soon as we are able to, and literally sometimes we'll write it out to make sure we're doing it.
Look at that
we'll have our beats and we'll say, okay, this happened, but then this happens and that affects this and that does to that. And that's why you get a show that feels like, okay, this to that, to this to that, but this, here's the complication to that. And there's so many scripts we read from new writers and things that we see.
God, I see movies.
And,
you see movies that you're just watching. It's like this happened, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's when you're in a movie, just going, "What the f am I watching this movie for?" Just like this happened, and then this happened, and this happened. That's not a movie, you know. That's not a story.
Yeah, it needs to have, you know, it has to have an effect. So it like somebody, but it's the cause and effect, Amber. Exactly. That's something that I learned. What, in the 3rd grade? So anytime that I used to do plays and stuff like that at school, or, you know, I even, because I'm getting ready to do a little mini video, well, I'm getting ready to do a video for you guys, but I have a little skit that I want to do. Before that, I pitched the idea last night to Mika because I wanted her to be a part of it. And she was like, I'm saying, I do this, this happens, and then this happens, and then you come on and you do this or whatever, because this is affected, this and other, then at the end this happens. What do you think? Is literally the easiest thing that you could possibly do. Literally the easiest thing that you could possibly do. I pitched it last night, and this idiot can't even say it after watching a freaking movie. And this is ridiculous to me.
Like Trey said, it's those two, but because therefore that gives you the causation between each beat, and that makes that's a story.
Do you see how they're referring to causation?
Yeah.
And in case that's too big a word for you, Gary, causation means something that causes something else to happen. And as I've demonstrated, each of these events that you keep saying and then to had a logical cause.
Yeah, basketball was
unlike how you started this video talking about Variety's red carpet interviews that have nothing to do with reviewing this film. And of course, Gary continues on with his fake and then spiel, which I assure you, after listening to all of them, all had a cause. This guy's media literacy has as much integrity as his hairline. Moving on.
But I'll give it to James Gunn for consistency because they had the same complexity and depth as the plot. I thought Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner was pretty good, along with Anthony Kerrigan's Metamorpho, and I thought Mr. Terrific was really good. No, I'm not going to say terrific.
All right, allow me to nitpick something here. Why is it that Gary chose not to pronounce Eddie Gathegi's name? Not even an attempt to learn how to pronounce it? I mean, this guy's about to be A-list, given the public's reaction to his character, which is going to translate into him becoming a larger part of the DCU, rivaling or even surpassing Cyborg's popularity in audience mindshare. I'm not the guy that cries racism for every little thing, but with Nerdrotic's track record, I wouldn't put specifically not making an effort for the black actor past him. After all, these are real thumbnails from Gary's channel.
Yes, they are.
Note the ebonics.
I'd like to see more of the Justice Gang in a different movie, and I'm not the only one to point this out, but tonally, they come off just like the Justice Society and Black Adam.
No, they don't.
What version of Black Adam did you watch? Another porn parody? Are you just saying this because there was a black man, a white man, and a young woman? That's
Birdman said it, so I didn't. Birdman said, because I'm like, what? I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stand Black Adam. I think Black Adam is it. The Rock did it's not good. It's not good. It's not the worst, but it's not something that I can sit around and just watch. Me like, man, I can't wait to watch Black Adam again. You know what I mean? It's not really a good movie per se. But to compare this to that, other than the parallels of the skin color of the people in it, is absolutely trash. Kevin Terrell, thank you so very much for the $2 super chat. Oh, Birdman collabs with you in the future. As long as he don't talk about my hairline and my forehead. My forehead been like this, Birdman. Don't do me like that, Birdman. Don't do me like that. Yo, shout out to you for the $1.99 super chat. And it'd be nice though. I'm cool. Hey, Birdman, hey, you know what I'm saying? The same thing with Ernie. Hey, if we can be able to get it done, I'm with it. But until then, I'm out here on these grifters.
Gang bang, gang bang, gang bang. You are truly amazing. Gang Thank you for your super chat.
Gang bang, gang bang. Thank you so very much for the super chat. Let's keep going.
Exactly where the similarities end. Hawkman and Adam had this pointless dick measuring contest the whole movie, and Dr. Fate was a voice of reason. Mr. Terrific is not only nothing like Hawkman, he spends the majority of his screen time helping Lois because he trusts and wants to save Superman. There's a brief moment between Guy and Kal-El, but that was due to the news about his parents' true motives, and not because Guy thinks he's tougher than the other guy. Hawkgirl is barely in the narrative. There is no analog to Atom Smasher in this movie, and Cyclone got way more screen time in her film. You're just saying things.
Again, proving why mid-movies are the hardest to review of the rest of the additional
Nothing
cast.
was Black
the best
Adam.
I can
It was
say
The
is
Rock.
they're fine, I guess. The only characters I didn't like were Hawkgirl and the Engineer, obviously, because they're women.
Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel.
Unlike Ricky Gervais, Gary, you are unaware that jokes have punchlines.
Exactly.
What was the punchline there? Haha, I'm a sexist? You can't hide behind the they're just jokes defense when you don't actually tell jokes.
And hey, Jimmy Olsen is white again, and his unassuming babe magnet character was kind of funny.
And you immediately follow up the I'm just joking defense with another bigoted statement.
Exactly.
Explain what part of Jimmy Olsen's characterization requires him to be a white guy. He can't be a Korean or a Dominican or a Nigerian. He's a reporter. The only thing his character needs is to be a journalist. His ethnic background is completely immaterial to that job. That's the fundamental problem you racists don't understand when you ask dumbass questions like, why can't T'Challa be white? A character, any character, can be played by any ethnic group unless that character's ethnic background is integral to their characterization.
This is what I talk about when it comes to the race swap. The only reason I'm going to continue to repeat this, so it is driven in the minds of my detractors who come on and say, but no. The only reason why I'm against race swaps because of races, I want to cuss so bad. Races like this. That's the only reason why. Other than that, I wouldn't give a crap. I'm going to be completely real with you. Because of the history of this country and with the minstrel period and the way that we were depicted in Jim Crow, yeah, I wouldn't give a crap. Just being completely honest with you. I wouldn't give a crap. But because I got to go, because I feel like it's my duty to defend black people, black actors who just want a paycheck, who want to do their art and get a paycheck and don't care about what the color of the skin of the character was depicted in a fictional universe, in a fictional book, unless it's integral to the position of the character. Like he said, Black Panther, the reason why he has to be black, because it's a non-colonized fictional place in Africa. Non-colonization means he can't be white because that'd be weird. You get it? Because of history, because this universe uses real world events. So what would a white Black Panther do against the apartheid in 1988 and that 4-issue miniseries? Wouldn't that be weird? Just saying. Oh, good. Let's finish this up. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's finish this up.
For example, Red Skull needs to be a white guy because he's a Nazi, and the Nazis weren't recruiting non-white people into their ranks.
Very much
Being
true.
White is integral to that character's characterization.
Very true.
But a character like Norman Osborn can be any racial ethnic group because his ethnicity is not a part of his characterization.
Very
I
true.
don't know what's so difficult to understand about this for you people, besides the fact that you just don't like seeing other groups of people in these roles. This is a form of white defaultism, where white people are seen as the default human, and any other type of human has to justify their existence within a story. The problem is that it's entirely artificial, as white people are a world minority and only have a majority in certain places due to exclusionary practices, meaning they have not yet justified their own existence in these stories, being a minority to the planet. Even with all the so-called race swaps in Hollywood, the most successful film franchise in history is still overwhelmingly white. It's almost like you people want a complete hegemony, and that's not gonna happen.
And Ma and Pa Kent were barely in it. And yes, they were portrayed as a stereotypical country bumpkin couple, but there was one funny scene that played out just like.
Let me just say this. Okay, for y'all who don't know, I am from Kansas City, Kansas. It is an adjacent city that's just divided by the Missouri River of Kansas City, Missouri. So you have Kansas City, Kansas, and you have Kansas City, Missouri. Me living for the last, let me see, how long I've been in Missouri? Off and on now for a while. I work in going towards the country part of Missouri, where folks talk like Ma and Pa Kent. I know y'all say it's a stereotypical country bumpkin or whatever. Unfortunately, that is just not a stereotype, because I got a buddy right now that I can call who sounds just like Paul Kent. I know a lady that I talk to every day. I'm not going to repeat these people's names, and I'm not trying to put them out there like that. There's a little skinny lady that I see every day, and she talks just like this. Hey, Dre, how you doing? It is so good to see you every day. It's so nice. Little skinny white lady. I know they're not doing that, are they? Sound just like Ma Kent. Now, I know there were some people that say, I didn't like that, the depiction or whatever. Unless you live here, you don't know. And I unfortunately know, since I've been in the Midwest almost my whole life, those people talk like that. Just coming from a Midwestern, let me just tell you. All right, let's keep going. Not everybody, but there's some folks.
Like a phone call with my mom, who has never seen a second of my YouTube and thinks I'm on a radio show.
Good for her. I'm sure if she did know what you do, she'd be disappointed in the absolute piece of shit she raised.
Before the film, I heard a lot of lip service about this being a hopeful Superman. Within the film, I heard a lot of lip service saying Superman is popular, but at no time do I feel like there's any reverence or respect for the character from anybody within the film or making it. Oh, they like him, but again, they don't respect him. I'd also like to remind you that Superman gets kicked in the balls by Ultraman, and they end the movie with Supergirl calling Superman a bitch.
This is a completely dishonest framing of that part of the movie. In this film, Kara is portrayed as a free spirit archetype, and as such, she did not call Superman a bitch. She called him bitch. These have two different connotations. She used it in the same way that women use it with each other, aka a form of endearment.
Come on. Thanks for watching him, bitch.
Nerdrotic is lying to you, trying to whip up his grift bullshit that a woman is emasculating a man in a movie. It would be as if I, a black man, called a white man nigga. I'm not calling him a slur. I'm using a term black people use with no ill intention. What Gary is doing here is like saying I called that same white man the hard R in word. This is textbook outrage farming.
The people are simple and profoundly confused, weak of mind, spirit, and body, lord over the planet as the last son of Krypton. Dispatch of anyone unable or unwilling to serve you, Kal-El. Take as many wives as you can so your genes and Kryptonians' might and legacy will live on in this new frontier. Do us proud, our beloved son. Rule without mercy.
Fuck this movie. That's arguably, oh hell, it's not even an argument. That is worse than Clark letting Pa Kent get sucked up into a tornado.
No, it's not.
Then you're probably a fucking moron. This doesn't really have anything to do with this man grifting, but all to do with his inability to understand the media that he's consuming. This is meant to contrast Clark from Kal-El. Kal-El was sent to Earth to rule over it by his real parents, but Clark learned how to be a human from his adoptive parents.
It's literally like this is what they're doing. They want you to believe. But look, I got over 1 million. So, you know, anytime that I go against somebody, or whether it's, these grifters, like Neurotic, or, I do a reaction video to the Birdman, we're going against Neurotic, we're going against Tyrone Magnus, we're going against Critical Drinker, or that big bald thing, whatever that thing is over in the UK, who got something to say. And in that panel with grifters, that is just a league of racist gentlemen and lady, you know what I mean, and one black dude, so we don't look like we're totally racist. Yeah, but he's so ambiguous that you won't know. The reason, the first thing they say, you're just hating. They got an opinion. So they can't have an opinion on something. And it's not that they can't have an opinion. You can have an opinion on anything that you want. I don't care. I don't care if you have an opinion. What I can do is dissect your critique or your take on said opinion. You know what that is? Debating. Something that I've been doing in high school since the 9th grade. Something that your local, your ESPN and your Fox Sports do every day. And what they do is the blueprint a lot of times on what these grifters do. Rage bait. Let me say a take that's so ridiculous that gets people to go to my channel. This is what made Skip Bayless successful. Shout out to Tori because he just did a video on that I will be doing a reaction video to soon. Right? This is the same thing that, the Breakfast Ball tried to do. Glad they got canceled. Talk about Pat Mahomes one more time like he's trash. But these are what these people do. They do it for clicks and likes. So when what's up, Sheed? So when I do a reaction video to that to counter said points, because I'm not on the panel, right? I'm not on said panel. I'm looking at this reaction and giving my critique. People got a problem. I get called hater. I get called, well, you don't have a big platform anyway. You're just using their platform to get big. How is that for Sway? When I was on TMZ, they would give me an article that they wrote for themselves. I have to read it, and then I give my critique on said thing along with Harvey and whoever else the person is. I'm doing the same thing, but yet y'all are saying that I'm using it, and I'm nowhere close to the size of these channels. And look at the garbage that they push and look what you consume, but yet somehow I'm the problem, or Birdman, or anybody else that's exposing the grift is the problem. Shame.
And that's why Superman is good, because of the Kents. The logic as presented in this film is if his real parents were this benevolent group of people, it would narratively void the point of growing up in Smallville and the lessons his adoptive parents taught him. This turns the Kents into the true force of good and the reason Superman wants to protect the Earth and its people, thus making them extremely important to the narrative and mythos of this version of Superman. It's an incredibly effective narrative change.
I wanted it to be the best Superman movie ever made. I wanted to walk out of that theater feeling so good.
Hey, American Ninja Girl,
in and watch it again.
And you would have, only if Daddy Drinker said he liked it first.
And again, shout out to the Birdman. You know what I mean? Because of the Birdman and Torian and CHD and all these other guys who've been exposing the grifts, I got good material to react on. And I told you I like doing reaction videos because literally this is what I did on TMZ. So I'm just taking the TMZ things that I was doing and just doing them here. But let me take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Mack Show.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the butter spread. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the butter spread. Get your butter spread all on me. I don't like the way it mixes with my mac and cheese.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right. This was a really good one. It was a really, really, really good one. And this just came out last night. So make sure you're going to the Birdman. He is, Pam is silly. He is tagged in this video. So make sure that you go out and check out his video. See if this, that you want to like and subscribe to his channel, but can we please, can we get the likes up? Let me see. I have 82 people right now that's watching on YouTube. Can we get some likes? That's all I'm asking for is a thumbs up. Maybe you hate this. Give it a thumbs down. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. But can you help a brother out just a little bit? You know, just a little bit.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
Oh, no, Damon, there's no... These and again, I have explained on multiple occasions how a lot of these, like you call them Nazi nerds, they how can I say this? They don't want black people in their spaces unless we're a part of the go along, get along gang. And I refuse to be part of the go along, get along gang. I kick in the door. I'm a nerd. You see my background? You know what I'm saying? It ain't like I just don't like this. I love this stuff. This is what I like. You know what I mean? But some of them don't like us in that space, and that's okay. I create my own space. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I don't need them. I don't need them. I have myself and I have the other blurs and other nerds that don't think like this, that, you know, that I can discuss, you know, this stuff with, and I start my own tribe. That's how I am. I don't need them. You don't want to be a part of my tribe? Cool. I'll create my own tribe, and then people can come to my tribe. How about that? Does that work? Because that's what I'm about. But you guys tell me exactly what you think about exposing the grift Superman from the Birdman. Did you like it? Did you enjoy the commentary? What about me? Was I crazy? Did I say something wrong? Put it in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. And again, don't forget on the way out to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vampire, man. Enjoy the rest of you guys this Tuesday. Where is my outro at? This is Fantastic Four week. I can't wait. Where's my outro at? Because you already know. I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.